Hi, my name's Darren Bugg, and as you probably know by now, I do reviews of budget hotels all over the United Kingdom for business travellers. Now, most of these are Premier Inns and travel lodges, although I also do reviews of Ibis hotels and occasionally Best Western hotels as well. Most of my reviews are in London, Manchester and the big cities of the United Kingdom, and today I'm in London, in a very nice area of London called Fulham. And if you know London, then you'll probably realise that Fulham is one of the poshest areas of London, so I guess you could say this particular Travelodge is in one of the poshest areas for any Travelodge in London. And Fulham is just west of the centre of London. It has some really nice shops, nice restaurants, takeaways, all sorts of things around this area. It's very well served for public transport. The nearest underground station is Fulham Broadway, which is not far away from Chelsea football ground. So it's also handy if you're down here for footballing reasons. And this particular weekend, I'm here partly for business and partly for football. So I'm combining a bit of business with pleasure. Today I'm staying in the Fulham Travelodge, and I've been given a free upgrade to a super room because I'm making this film. So thank you very much to Travelodge for doing that. I did have to pay for the room. I pay for all the rooms I stay in, but they've kindly given me an upgrade to a super room. So you might also want to watch my other film, which looks at Travelodge super rooms and compares them to standard rooms and asks the question, is it worth paying extra for a super room? And if you watch my other film, then you'll see what I think, whether I think it is worth paying extra. So I'm going to first start off by giving you a tour of the room here at Fulham. So we'll start this tour of the Travelodge super room here at London Fulham with the bed. And the bed is, as you'd expect, very, very comfortable. Travelodge beds always are. I think they do give you the same bed whether you're in a super room or a normal room, but one difference is this kind of bed runner thing here is a different colour. It's much nicer than the one you get in the standard rooms, but it's only cosmetic, obviously. You get a nice seat, which you don't get in the standard rooms. In the standard rooms, it's just like a kind of a bucket seat, but in the super rooms, they give you a much more nicer, comfortable seat, which is nice in the evenings if you want to watch TV. It's just a bit nicer to sit there and watch television rather than lying in your bed watching TV. And also a nice swivel chair, which is very useful if you are on business and you want to put your laptop on the desk. Much nicer than the normal chairs that they give you that don't swivel, especially if you're doing any work for a few hours. It doesn't matter so much if you're just travelling down to London for tourist reasons, but if you're on business, it is nice to have a comfortable desk chair if you're going to be doing some work for a few hours. The usual desk that you would get in any travel lodge. My usual proviso that I mention in all my films is the drinks, the wine and the other drinks I've brought myself, obviously. But one thing they do provide in the super rooms is the very nice Lavazza coffee machine, which is a standard feature of all Travelodge super rooms. And they also give you a few little extras, which is quite funny. But you get some hot chocolate, which is actually quite nice, Galaxy hot chocolate, and they give you a couple of Kit Kats as well, and you get a few pods. I'm going to have to ask for some more pods at reception, but I'm sure they'll give them to me. Staff here very, very friendly. Also, you get a metal kettle. Whereas if you're in a standard room, you just get a plastic kettle. But in the Travelodge super room, you get a metal kettle and the Lavazza coffee machine. I doubt I'll be using the kettle. I don't like tea, I only drink coffee. So I will be using the coffee machine. You also get a much nicer desk lamp than in the standard rooms. Again, it is quite cosmetic, but if you're here on business, then it is nice just to have a nice desk lamp, a nice chair, a nice desk to sit at. But if you're not staying here for business reasons, maybe you're not that bothered, but it is nice to get your laptop out and do some work if you are down on business or for sales purposes, or if you're actually working down in London. You get a nicer curtain. Again, it is cosmetic, but it just looks a bit nicer, this curtain. It's just nicer fabric, and it's not that hideous kind of blue and grey colour that you normally get. And so just generally, the cosmetic appearance of the room is nicer. The decor is sort of a kind of a blue and grey, which I think is a nice colour combination. And again, another cosmetic thing, you get this picture on the wall, which is different from the standard picture. It's just generally looks nicer. A new innovation, which I've not seen in super rooms before. I don't know if it's just typical of this hotel or if it's everywhere, but this is a new sort of lighting system, which is quite nice next to your bed. You can turn on and off the lights from your bed here. Normally, you can't adjust the lighting levels, but you get all sorts of different options for turning lights on and off. Another standard feature of the super rooms is the USB charging points. Now, these are a little bit pointless, please excuse the joke, because if you've got to bring your cable to plug in, then you might as well bring your charger as well. And I think most people go around with the charger anyway. I wouldn't risk going away on business without carrying my phone charger. So that does make these a little bit pointless, but these are standard in the super rooms, whereas you don't always get them in the normal Travelodge rooms. So I suppose it's a nice little feature, but I would always, if I was travelling on business, I would always take my phone charger with me anyway. I wouldn't risk going anywhere without taking my phone charger, and I think most people are the same. So generally speaking, you get a bit more comfort, you get a comfortable chair, a more comfortable swivel chair, you get the coffee maker, you get the cosmetic things like the bed runner being a nicer colour, and also that nicer picture. Well, I say nicer, I suppose it's a matter of taste. I prefer it to the other one. This room doesn't have air conditioning, which is unusual because most of the super rooms do have air conditioning. It just has an electric heater. And no doubt, I haven't worked out how to use this yet. This has been filmed in the middle of winter, so I probably won't need air conditioning anyway, but I imagine it probably blows cold air as well as hot air. And then a picture, which I don't know if this is just typical of London, but I've stayed in other super rooms at Travelodge in London, and they have this this kind of picture of London on the wall, which I really like. I want one to take home with me. I might have to see if I can sneak it in my bag. Only kidding, of course. And then another feature of the super room that you don't get in standard rooms is hairdryer, which some people aren't bothered. I absolutely do want a hairdryer, and I always ask for one at reception. In fact, I asked for one when I arrived, and they said, oh, it's okay, you've been upgraded to a super room, so there'll be one provided. So I've now got two hairdryers, actually. I've got the one that they gave me at reception, and I've also got the super room one that's provided in all super rooms. And then you get the mirror, of course, with me in the background. And the same type of wardrobe that you get in all Travelodge rooms, but the difference is it also contains an ironing board, which again, quite important if you're on business, if you're wearing a suit or a shirt and tie, that kind of thing. And also, as you'd expect with an ironing board, you also get an iron. Now, I should point out, if you're staying in a standard room, you can still get an iron, but you have to ask for it at reception. It's a little bit like the hairdryer, and they will give you one at reception, but in the super rooms they are provided as standard, so you don't have to go begging at reception. They just give you one anyway. So you've got the ironing board, the iron, but the usual problem that I mention in every single film I make, they never give enough coat hangers. Now, I'm here on my own, so it doesn't matter, but if you were here with a couple or maybe with children as well, then you're going to need more than 6 coat hangers. I don't, so it doesn't matter because I'm on my own, but I just don't understand why they don't provide more coat hangers. Okay, so that is the desk, the workspace. It definitely does have advantages if you are in London on business to have a super room because of the iron and the ironing board. It's nice to have a coffee maker, obviously, whether you're on business or not. But that swivel chair is very handy if you're going to be doing a few hours work on your laptop, then it is nice just to have a more comfortable chair. The TV is the same as what you get in a standard room. It is a 32-inch Samsung TV. Nice TVs actually. Samsung are one of my favourite brands for television. And I mentioned this in several of my films. You can, at the back, I'll show you a bit later on in this film, but you can, if you want, plug a USB stick into it. And it is a bit fiddly, and I'm not going to demonstrate how to take it off the wall, but in the back there, where you can see my hand, there is a USB port. Now, if you do what I like to do, I download films and television programmes, I put them on my USB stick, and then in the evening, rather than just watching standard TV, I can actually watch films. So I won't demonstrate here, but just around where my hand is, there is a USB port where you can put your USB stick with films if you want to do that. Doors pretty standard, which you get in any room. The only difference is painted a different colour. And then that leads me on to the all-important bathroom. So the bathroom, I will just turn on the light. And the bathroom is almost the same as what you'd get in a standard room. The only main difference, well, there's two differences. One is the shower head. I think the shower's the same in the standard room, but the shower head allows you to change the settings. So you get like kind of different types of shower by pressing the button. I think you've got about 3 options. They have filled up the shampoo and the hand wash, which I checked on that, and I've also checked on that because sometimes they can be a bit lax at Travelodge, and I've been to a few Travelodges where they haven't actually filled them. So I've opened them to check, and that has recently been filled up, and the shampoo there has as well. I said there were 2 differences. The only other difference is the shower curtain, which is, again, it's cosmetic, it's a different colour, and it's just a nicer material, a nicer fabric. But again, different shower curtain and a different shower head. But apart from that, the bathroom is pretty much the same as you would get in just a standard Travelodge room. So obviously you've got your wash basin, you've got your toilet, you've got a big mirror with me in the background again. But only really 2 things in the bathroom that are different from a standard room, and that is the shower curtains design and a slightly better shower head. So that's the bathroom, and that is the room tour. So on balance, I would say it is worth paying extra for the super room because you are getting just a nicer cosmetic experience. There isn't really much practically better apart from the chair which I've mentioned, well, the 2 chairs, and obviously the iron and the ironing board. So the question I always ask at the end of my films, would I stay here again? And the answer is yes, I would, but it would have to be at a reasonable price. And the reason I mention price is because this is not one of the cheapest Travelodges in London. And if you are on a tight budget, then you might prefer to stay in a different area of London. It's not the Travelodge itself that's the issue, it's the area. And because this is a very nice, desirable part of London, that is reflected in hotel prices, and this Travelodge certainly isn't one of the cheapest Travelodges. Because I'm also staying in a super room, it certainly wouldn't be that cheap. And if you wanted to spend a similar amount of money in a different part of London, then you could probably stay in something like a Hilton or shall we say a better quality hotel rather than just a Travelodge. But you have to make that decision yourself. Do you want to stay in a nice area? Are you happy staying somewhere a bit cheaper, for example in East London or South London, where you might get better value for money, or you could spend the same amount of money on a 3-4 star hotel rather than staying in a Travelodge? But that's a decision you've got to make, really. Are you more bothered about the hotel or the area? What I've done is actually a very good compromise because I'm staying in a Travelodge, which are traditionally quite cheap hotels, but upgraded to the super room, so I've got a bit more luxury, if you like, but I'm still staying in quite a nice area of London. If you stay in a Hilton round here, you're not going to get much change out of £200 a night. So it certainly isn't a cheap area of London. But you have to make that decision yourself, how much you want to spend. And because these films are aimed at business travellers, my whole philosophy is that people want something nice and comfortable and convenient, but they don't want to spend too much money out of their company budget. It's fine if you're working for somebody else, but when you're running your own business, you want to keep costs down. And certainly from talking to other business people and comments I've had on YouTube of these films that I make, a lot of people say, well, look, if I'm just going for a business meeting or if I'm doing a bit of work for a couple of days, then I really want to keep my costs down. Because the whole point really is you're not here on holiday, you're here to do business. You just want comfort and a comfortable bed, and you want to get your work done. So that is my philosophy behind making these films, really, that business travellers want something reasonably nice, but they don't want to spend an absolute fortune, because there's no point if you're going out to a business meeting and doing some work and you're spending £200 a night on a hotel, then it's kind of eating up your profits. So this is quite a good compromise, really, as a hotel for business travellers. If you're not here on business, if you're coming down to London just for tourist reasons, then this place is superb, because you've got all the great eating and drinking places. You're not far from the River Thames. It's great for 2 different football grounds, actually, Chelsea football ground, Stamford Bridge, and also Craven Cottage, where Fulham play, both within walking distance of this hotel. So great location, really nice location, very, very convenient location. But the one thing I would say is it's not going to be that cheap. So would I stay here again? I think I would if I was on holiday, or if I just wanted a nice place to stay in London. I think if I was on business, I would only stay here if I could get it at a reasonable price. I certainly wouldn't pay £150, £200 a night, for the simple reason that the whole point of these films is to keep your costs down, and so why would you want to spend a lot of money? It depends when you come as well. If you come on a Sunday or a Monday or a Tuesday, quite cheap. If you come on a Friday or a Saturday night, it can be quite expensive. So it's up to you, really. You pay your money, you take your choice. As far as I'm concerned, I definitely would recommend this hotel. I would definitely stay here again. The one proviso being it would have to be at a reasonable price. If it was going to be a couple of £100 a night, then I'd probably go to a different area of London and stay in a Hilton or stay in a higher quality hotel. But as long as the price is right, yep, I'd definitely stay here again. And I absolutely would recommend the hotel and the area. And I certainly would recommend it and stay here again. Well, my name is Darren Bugg. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and please share this film. I really appreciate it if you could. I don't make very much money from this at all, but it is just so useful to get subscribers and likes and shares. So I do appreciate it when people do that. And I also very much appreciate your comments. So, and I always answer them. So if you put comments in the box below, I promise you will get an answer. And that applies to all my films on YouTube, whether positive or negative. I always reply to all the comments that people leave. Thanks a lot for watching. My name's Darren Bugg. Hope you enjoy your travelling, whatever you're doing. Safe travels, and I'll see you again soon.